Welcome to the lesson on mixers. You've produced or sampled some content and you're ready for your first performance, and you may be just comfortable plugging straight into the projector, but what happens if your computer crashes? You've got a nice blue screen of death, everyone notices and is looking at you and they stop dancing. How embarrassing. What you need to do is have more than one source in case something goes wrong, and if your computer crashes, you just crossfade and move on to another source like a DVD or another computer or anything else that is actually outputting on the screen. So then if something goes wrong, you're crossfading, the audience hasn't noticed, and the performance carries on as normal. So depending on the content you're using, then you may want to shop for a different mixer. You can have mixers that are audio only, video only. You've got mixers that combine audio and video together in one box, and you've got also high definition mixers. So what we got here, we've got the Edirol V4, Edirol V8, Edirol V440, the Numark AVM02, and the Pioneer SVM 1000. The first mixer we're going to look at is the V4. V4 is the lightest and the smallest of the mixer we're going to look at today, and it's a very practical option if you're traveling. Now, this is a video only mixer, but we have a V-Link connection in the back. It's a MIDI connection that hooks up to any DJ mixer that's MIDI enabled. So the DJ mixer can act as a remote control for the V4. So if you hook it up that way, you can combine a DJ mixer and a video mixer for an audiovisual performance. Let me guide you through all the different features. The V4, as the name says, has 4 inputs. The inputs are composite. You've got a bit higher quality inputs on the back of the unit. Once you connected your inputs, you could select different inputs from the buttons at the front. You've got channel A and B, so it's a 2-channel mixer. Let me guide you through the different features. First of all, the V4 is connected to these 2 DVJs. You can see a preview from what's coming out of this DVJ, and the DVJ on the right is on the preview on the right here. What's coming in the middle is the preview out on this V4, which if I crossfade, you can see this is what I'm supposed to see on the projection. This source is connected to input 1, and this source is connected to input 2. I can preview each of the connection from clicking on the top buttons here, or the output. At the moment I've got the output selected. Going down along the unit, I can select the inputs I want from the buttons here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 correspond with the 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs. I've got effects that are specific to each channel. So channel A and B, I can crossfade between with the crossfader. When you buy the unit, it comes with a T-bar, but I've changed it to a more DJ friendly crossfader, which allows a bit more of a live feel, I find. But it's again up to your personality to decide. So one of the things I like to do with the V4 is play with the black fade out. So if I've got sometimes I listen to the music and there's a break, then I would want to maybe just take a break from the visuals and just fade to black, and then maybe do some effects separately on one source. So I'm not always mixing between 2 sources, I'm also mixing with the black. So a nice little cool feature you want to learn about is just the tap BPM function, So the tap BPM function, you tap on the rhythm, and it detects the BPM. Now it's a bit slow. Let's make it a little bit faster. Okay. Okay, 126 is good. And now you hit the BPM sync. So what's going to happen is it will crossfade at the rhythm that you've got here, and you've got quite a natural phenomenon. You've got quite a natural way to follow the rhythm of the music, the ambient music, and now you can just relax a little bit and then look through, for example, your DVD box, try to find the next sample, so you're not always like completely focused on one thing. DJ does the same. DJ goes inside his record box when one track is playing out, and you need to do something in a similar way when you're doing visuals. The transformer button, what the transformer button does is it just cuts literally to the B channel on this in this case. So if I've got music going on that's doing, for example, pop up 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 up, I can just hit the transformer button and do pop up 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 up, and again I'm following the music in a very natural and hands-on way. There are different ways to crossfade with the V4. You can mix. You can hit the mix button. The mix button is cross dissolve. It's another way to say cross dissolve, and you've got all the wipes and more funky type of effects. These effects are you need to be careful. They can get cheesy quite quickly, so I tend to use them with moderation. So on the unit surface, you can see written down some preset effects, but that applies only to the memory bank 1. You've got a whole lot of other customizable effects. If you go into the menu, as soon as you select memory 2 all the way up to 8, you go into the menu section. You can view from your preview out. So the preview out is how you access the menu. So you go up and down and highlight. Let's highlight, for example, effect A. Let's just fade that out so I can see clearly. So what's happening on effect A? I click enter. I've got 4 types of effects. They relate to the 5 buttons on the left side. So instead of having a multi mirror effect, let's enter here and go up. I have a chroma key instead. So I'm gonna change the strobe effect here to a chroma key. If you're traveling a lot, you may go to a country that has a different video format than the one in which you're based. That can be changed when you turn on the machine. As you saw a minute ago, it said PAL. Let's see that again. I turn on the machine and it's set to PAL. If I, for example, go to Japan or America, they have an NTSC format. So I need to change the V4 setting, and it's a very easy way to do it. So before you power on the machine, you just press input 1 and output together, like this, and then press on button and wait a minute till the Christmas light. And here we go. It says it's NTSC now, and you had the display. Now let's go back to PAL again. Just power off the machine, press input 1 and output together at the same time as I power on, and now I've got the power. And now I switch back to PAL. So now we've got the V8. We're working with the V8, which is a similar model to the V4. It's just slightly thicker, and the layout is a little bit different to accommodate all the different features. So there are more features here. What's changed is that we've got, instead of 4 inputs, we've got 8 inputs, and we can select each of the 8 inputs on the different channels. So what used to be a knob for the fade out is now a slider. You can slide to fade to black, or switch this little button and you fade to white. And the T-bar here, I can change that to as well to a crossfader that way. I can change the crossfader to the T-bar in a horizontal way. That I can do. I can show you how to do that in a minute. And what I haven't shown you is the transformer buttons. Okay, just a final thing. What you will notice on the V8 is that the connections are a little bit better quality. You've got full BNC connections, and we've got the VGA connection and S-video here in the bottom. So these are a little bit better quality than what you've got on the V4, and so you can expect also a better quality that's going on the screens. Now, so this is what we've got in the back of the V8. We've got 7 different inputs, also an 8th input which does the PC input, so you can plug that into a VGA connection. You have to keep in mind that the input is digital, but these are all the output options, and we don't have a digital output yet. So we are going out in a standard definition analog signal. Okay, so we looked at the V4, we looked at the V8, and now we're looking at the V440. Now this is the first mixer that we can mix HD with. Just to start on this side, we've got something that can remind us from the V4. We can have 4 inputs of standard definition video that we can mix together. Similar types of transitions so you can apply. But on this side now you've got high definition inputs. You can have 4 HD inputs. Now I've got, for purpose of demonstration, I've got this laptop on top of the other inputs I've already connected to the other mixers. I've added a laptop, and the laptop is through the VGA connection here is outputting at resolution around 1080i, and these two can be mixed together. We can mix with this mixer, we can mix standard def with high def. So this is the advantage of this mixer. So with this unit you get more of an impression that this is very purpose built for broadcast quality, broadcast purposes. And so you don't necessarily have so much of a hands-on mixing feeling as with other mixers, but you've got a lot of precisions on all the different buttons that you can work with. Okay, so we still got the analog connections on this side. We can still connect to a mixer, a DJ mixer, or any other MIDI controller to have this unit be controlled remotely. And on this side, all the HD elements that we can connect to via RGB or with the VGA connections here, and that can output obviously HD format. As I said, RGB, 720p or 1080i.